Hello and welcome to the Revanites Podcast, brought to you by Hillrat Productions. Joining me today is Mr.
Dan Nedden.
and Mr.
Ash Hughes.
Today we'll be talking about Monty Python. Please like, comment and subscribe to the channel and we'll get to it.
Sick.
Sweet.
How's that?
Python then, boys. What we got to say about Python? I mean, Terry Jones is dead.
Rest
Yeah.
in
Fellow
peace.
Welshman, yeah, rest in peace. Any particular favourite Terry Jones parts? Like, exact characters? I mean, obviously the mother from
There's
Life of Brian
many.
goes without saying.
I think mine is Brian's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I like him as the man in the Wink Wink Nudge Nudge sketch with Eric Idle. Just because he's just so, like, not there for what Eric Idle is trying to do. Yeah, the Lumberjack.
Yeah,
That's...
love doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, as a director, his work speaks for itself.
Totally.
The writing of all of them speaks for itself as well.
Oh yeah. I think just Terry Jones, especially because obviously he has just died in tragedy. His work with history has just been, phenomenal as well. His medieval lives, I think it's seven, 9 parts, and each one he goes through a different aspect of medieval life. So he does peasants, monks, knights, damsels, kings, blah blah, and he goes through like how their lives would have been, and it's just so good. Like he's such a good broadcaster, and really gets it. But it's so easy to understand. It'd be a shame. Well, it is a shame,
Oh, big shame.
We'll be able to have anything else like that from him anyway.
Yeah, well, it's sad that, obviously other than Graham Chapman aside, he's the young, like, obviously to go so young because of an illness is just a shame for it to happen to the two separate members to go. I mean, obviously Graham Chapman went a lot earlier than
Was it 83
he
or
should
something?
have.
Yeah,
Or
something
like
87?
but still they wouldn't. Terry Jones wasn't necessarily old either. Do you mean like
No.
overtly old? But
Did you see what? I think it was either the day or the day after. It was announced Terry Jones had died on the Python's own Facebook page. They put a little post up saying 2 down, 4 to go.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
fuck's sake. I'm like, that's definitely
But
something.
have you
definitely
seen
Python-esque.
the way John Cleese talks about
Graham Chapman.
Graham Chapman
Yeah. Oh,
in
gosh.
the personal best is just disgusting. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
good riddance. I'm glad
If you
he's
didn't
gone.
know who John Cleese was in context of that, and you'd think, oh my god, this is just such a
Yeah.
disgraceful way to talk about someone. So, alright, and favourite Monty Python film, what is it?
For me, Life of Brian.
Yeah, Dan?
I think Holy Grail.
Do you know what, I was going to say, I bet yours is Holy Grail, but because of that, like,
Yeah.
more historical aspect.
It's just
There.
What are yours?
You got
What
Stream?
about yours? Meaning of life.
No, mine's Holy Grail as well.
Fair.
Yeah, easy. But I do have to say, the more and more I watch Meaning of Life, the more and more I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I've only seen
wasn't
it-
that fussed on
No.
it.
No.
It
But
took me a
honestly, the
couple-
more and more I watch it, the more and more I get into
I'll
it.
have to give it a proper watch again because I remember watching it once when I was quite young and I didn't like it. Probably because I
Yeah.
didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really standout sketches in
No,
it. Like, oh my god.
Is this the one with Jones
Mr.
again?
Creosote, Terry Jones.
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember watching that scene and that was just so
Best.
bizarre.
There's a great moment in it where John Cleese is playing a school teacher,
Yeah,
but at like a really posh, obviously like private boarding
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, no, it's scary.
And he's on about, right, so they're doing sexual education, but then the next thing he just pulls down this bed from the whiteboard, and his wife
Yeah.
is like already up, like, comes in, strips, and then it's just him having sex with his wife.
Yeah.
But it's the most like bland
Yeah.
80s, 70s British sex you can imagine, where he's just
Describing it.
neither of them are into it, and
well.
he's
Yeah.
like checking his watch, and you think,
very
oh,
very British and
yeah,
always
if you got to go over your sister's for tea tonight, it's so good. And then the next clip then is the school rugby match.
Oh,
But
God.
it's the teachers against the kids, and John Cleese is just like tripping up kids and stuff, and it's just so good, man.
Have you seen the what I can imagine with like last thing is have you seen videos of like what's it called American football mascots playing against kids
Yeah, it's
and
that
they just
kind of
push them
thing.
over or
That's
throwing
pretty
them.
much what it is.
Yeah, that's what I can imagine now. It was like giant John Cleese, which he is.
Yeah.
He's fucking giant compared to anyone.
Which was the one? Which one had the Battle of Pearl Harbor in it? Like with the Queensley Town Women's Guild. Have you not seen that sketch?
No.
That's Flying Circus, mate.
Is that Flying Circus? Is it?
That's not none of the
I wasn't
films.
being alive.
I will say I was watching yesterday.
Where they have like the handbag fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Flying Circus, mate.
No, it is
Oh
Flying
no, it is in I know something completely different.
Ah, okay.
But that's just a compilation of Flying Circus clips.
Fair.
I
So
will
it
say I
is
was
Flying Circus.
watching something yesterday. It's on YouTube, and it was before the Flying Circus or Monty Python before the Flying Circus, and
It's on, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
Okay.
and before obviously they're all talking about their all schooling experience. They all went to very similar like boarding schools and stuff like that. And obviously Eton, and then they went to Cambridge or Oxford. But Eric Idle was talking about how in the one he was in, how they were all beaten obviously, and like the teachers were like, "Oh, this will do you good. You'll be thanked for us when you're older." Blah blah. Blah. Every guy was like, he was saying to the camera, he's like, "No," he's like, "Yeah, they said that, but no, I don't fucking feel grateful. I fucking hate
Eric
this."
Idle is my favourite.
It was like
Python. I love him.
I forgot because I haven't seen Eric Idle apart from in like I watched Life of Brian Yated this week, and he's just fantastic in that. He's the con man now. It's just fantastic. But I forgot how like blunt and to the point he is, and so loud compared to all the rest of the.
Yeah.
Like Cleese is loud for a performance aspect. Idle just loud in general,
Yeah.
and it's like he's talking to the reporter, and he just comes out and he just swears.
He's energetic.
Yeah.
He's hyper it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like Python in real life, whereas all the rest of Python in real life, but also mainly Python for Python, whereas he's just that, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, and Eric Idle is actually my favourite of them all. Because have either of you guys seen the Rattles stuff?
No,
Yeah, but no.
It's so good. So it's like it's a mockumentary, but they're a spoof of the Beatles,
right.
and it's Eric Idle and obviously three other guys. None of them are the Pythons, but it's purely an Eric Idle written thing. So funny. It's a bit like Spinal Tap before Spinal Tap. So any particular favourite Flying Circus sketches?
Well, mine would probably be the Battle of Pearl Harbor. I had like a best of. And it's hard to picture which ones are the favourite because they're all just too good. I like the cheese shop sketch. I like the one
cheese
where
shop sketch is
John
good.
Cleese tries to rob that laundry. Is it the lingerie store? And that was phenomenal.
Oh man.
What about you?
For me, probably like so I like the Wink Wink Nudge Nudge. I love the Norwegian, or is it Norway translation book.
Oh, is it when he goes into the shop and he tries to?
Yeah,
smashed the
I'd like to
cigarettes,
fondle
isn't it?
your bollocks.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's yeah.
I like the Lumberjack song.
The Lumberjack
It's so much. It's infinite amount
Yeah.
in it, to be fair. I like Military Fairies.
Is the
Yes, that's the one.
Funny as hell.
is the
Class.
Lumberjack song when he goes sit on my face and
No,
tell me
that's it on my face.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
What's the one? Was it where they're all lined up in the army? It's not military affairs, but the one who goes, "Oh, what would you rather be doing?" Playing the
Yeah,
piano."
if you got
Oh,
something
off
better
you
to
go.
be with what's his name? Why can't I remember any of their names? The one that's not Eric Idle, Graham Chapman,
it's
John
Michael
Cleese,
Palin.
Terry Jones, Michael Palin. That's it. Or Graham, Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
You said I think last week you really like. Is it funniest joke? ever written?
Funniest
Yeah.
joke ever
Oh.
written is it's just so it goes on for so long as well. I think that's one of the main bits I like it for. It's like it's not just a quick joke punchline. It's this whole story, and it's. I was
That's why
rewatching it again. And
One of my
it's
other
like-
favourites, I'm not even going to bother trying to attempt the name. You know the one of the musician, the German musician, where the name is just ridiculously long,
yes,
and they make out this life story for this guy, but so they have to keep saying this just insane name.
yeah. No, it's just the funniest joke in the world. It's like it starts off so it's so seriously and so like quintessentially British.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I mean,
like-
look at Upper Class Twitter of the Year.
Oh, I watched that yesterday.
That
That's
sketch
so
does not
fucking
work
funny.
anywhere
No,
else in the world,
no,
or
but-
not even in any particular
Right,
time
for,
period.
for one thing, twit is a very British word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you go to America, most things you're trying to say
You don't know what it is.
twat, but they all say twat for some fucking reason. So they think you're trying to say twat or twat. You know, other people don't understand what twit is. A lot of people don't understand what upper class means unless you've got a class
Yeah,
system.
the British class.
It's just
system,
all
innit?
the little bits that really add up to what makes it so just British, which is also
But even
strange.
down to, like the pigeon shooting, but they accidentally shoot the like the caddies. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I will say, I tell you what, probably one of my new favourites as well is the British government's section for hiding or how to hide, something like that.
Camouflage.
Have you seen that one, Hugh?
I don't think so, no.
So basically, it's like an info video of how to hide, and he's like, it's John Cleese doing narration, which is the best thing as well.
It's just a scene of a forest at first.
Yeah,
so
and
he
he's
opens
like-
up with just like
he's just like-
forest shot.
In this scene, there are 46 people hiding, and he goes to a different one, which is again just a forest. He's like, Mr. Jones from number 4, blah blah. Can you step out, please? And the guy just steps out and gets shot. And the second one's like, this is Mrs. Bowles from 46. Can you step out, please? And she gets shot. And the third one is like, Mr. Graham, wherever it is, can you step out from number 48? And he doesn't step out. And he's like, he has learned rule 1. But sadly enough, he's picked the very obvious cover. And it's a bush that he's hiding behind. It just blows up. It goes on for 8 other things. And it's just, it goes on for so long. It's always the same thing. But it gets more and more ridiculous. Like, because
absurd.
it's like the Joneses they've gone away. Luckily, their neighbours told us where they are. House blows up. This is the neighbour. Neighbour blows up. This is where the neighbour lives. Neighbour. It's just one thing after another. It's just so funny.
It sounds familiar.
And how it escalates.
I'm sure that's in and now something completely
It
different.
must be.
It's
It
in Flying
sounds
Circus.
familiar.
But it's just the fact that it ends with John Cleese laughing to himself, and John Cleese laughing is one of the best things in the world. And then he's like, and now for something completely different, and he blows up.
One of the best, completely different transitions when they goes along with all the naked, well, not naked obviously, but like women in their underwear, and then it's just John Cleese in women's lingerie on the table, laying it across the desk, and it's like.
Another thing, seems we got this on the screen now. It's Terry Gilliam's animations.
Oh, I love Terry Gilliam.
Throughout the Python stuff, and this particular one watching is a Victorian woman sitting down, and someone goes under a dress and just fighting, and then also a man's head pops up. It's all stop motion and everything. It's so weird, but it's so like, as we were thinking now, so like completely Python.
Oh yeah, no one sees this type of art form and doesn't immediately think Python.
No. Obviously, the style since has been used, ever since, but it is quintessentially Python, and in that case, quintessentially British, even though Gilliam is American and started doing this sort of cartoons in America. But yeah,
I love his hands, the stuff he does with the hands and the feet. And was it the bus stop one where the bus keeps driving by and she trips it up? He goes, oh.
And the one in the baby carriage where he kicks everyone. And the flasher. The flasher's really good.
The killer cars I love.
Yeah, good old Python.
But was it the one that John Cleese did with was it teaching self-defense against various types of fruit?
Oh yeah.
What if he comes out with a pointed stick?
Shut up. He goes, and now we're going with passion fruit. We did passion fruits. What about cherries? We already did cherries. What about bananas? We haven't did bananas. Okay. What we got? It could be a bunch of bananas.
You know everything.
Shut up. What comes with a pointed stick? It's always a pointed stick.
Brilliant.
One I saw yesterday was the Hell's Grannies.
Oh God.
It's just it's just so.
Just pushing people out the way.
Yeah, it was
and they're like kicking the can around in the alley. And,
He's like, it was he's like
baby snatchers.
Oh, is it the mole? Have you seen that one? Like a little it's like a spot that goes off and like sits on a bench.
Oh yeah.
Meets another one. And it just seems to have a life of its own somehow.
Yeah, what is it? The Hell's Grannies one? It's like he's like, it's worth on Pensions Day. It's tea cream and something else I can't think of.
Oh yeah, tea cream and bingo, something like that.
Or biscuits or something like that. He says.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like this spray paint like make tea not love, and it's like it's like what I think it's Terry Jones actually thinking of it. He's like we pull the heads off sheep and tea cakes. It's just. I think it's like pale and something like that. I was speaking of the funniest joke in the world. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the joke. Like obviously we could translate the German to roughly what it says, but no one's gonna go for that effort. But it's just so stupid.
The milkman. So a funny little transition as well.
Yeah. Blackmail. That was a good one.
And the expedition to the Everest expedition
Yeah.
Where John Cleese is like just insane. He's always like, he keeps covering his eye, but it doesn't seem to be the eye that's the problem. It's him. Like,
Yeah.
But, oh,
and
man.
he starts climbing across his like bookcase and his fireplace and everything.
Oh, what I didn't realize as well today, until like earlier on today, is there's different versions of these as well.
Yeah.
So there's like an earlier version, and there's
yeah,
this
that's
one
it.
they most people know
There's
about.
the flying circus stuff, but then they refilmed a lot of their best sketches for, and now something completely different.
Right.
So even though it is a film, it's just refilmed sketches from Flying Circus. Because that's the thing with the lumberjack thing. I think both Palin and Jones do the lumberjack, but one is one in circus and one in.
Yeah,
I've seen Palin's one. I like Palin's one.
Yeah. I think with the Finest Drunken World, there was an earlier version as well, where it's his mother that finds him, rather than his wife. I think
that's something completely different.
I think this is the better version, in my opinion, just because it's got this particular the police scene as well, where they play mournful music to try and distract him from reading the chalk. And they're just like they're just all moaning. It's just there's Palin, Cleese, and Idol just moaning just to the side.
I don't. Oh.
Funny enough, as well, the two have died. Are on screen now.
Have you seen the one where I think it's Eric Idle and Terry Jones are playing two school kids being interviewed by a news reporter? But Eric Idle plays like an 8-year-old boy, like scarily well. But because it's very obviously Eric Idle, but just the way he talks is just.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I can't remember what he says. I think he asks him something like, "Oh, what would you like?" And he says, I can't remember the actress's name. The one who was in, obviously from this era, who was in 10,000 BC. What was her name?
Was it Carol or something?
Yeah. Google it. Let's Google it. No, not the rubbish 2008 one.
Is it Carol Cleveland?
No, she's one of the Pythons. What was her name? Raquel Welsh.
Oh, that's it.
And he says something like, he asks him, well, what would he like for Christmas? And he says something like, oh, Raquel Welsh naked in my bedroom or something like that. But he just sounds like an 8-year-old boy.
Which one of the Pythons do you think is your favourite?
Oh, Eric Idle easily. Very, very easily, yeah.
I like Graham Chapman personally. I thought he was cool. I do like Michael Palin as well.
Palin's good.
Palin. Yeah.
Palin's probably my top one.
Yeah, probably Jones or Idol for me, I think are mine.
I've gone off John Cleese, given more of his attitude lately. But that is what it is. He's an old man.
Yeah. Also, Cleese has been the most public.
You don't hear much of the others, do you?
Well, they do writing or they do producing and stuff like that. But Cleese, Cleese has always been a weird one when it comes to like.
But he's also a little bit older than all of them anyway, and I think he's considerably like older than them.
I'm not sure actually. Thinking of it. What don't you like about Cleese then?
I know I like.
Just
like his political views that I just don't think are okay.
Fair.
Do you mean it's just plain as simple as that? But like I said, he's an old man. He's just.
Yeah. So personally, I don't know what he falls on like politically. I never really looked into it.
Basically the same old things you'd expect of an 80-year-old man.
Right. No, I get you. Let's see. John Cleese 80. Chapman, he's dead a while now. Gilliam is 79. Eric Idle, is 76. See, I think he's about 3 or 4 years older. Yeah, Palin's 76. Terry Jones was 77.
I thought he was a lot older than
so he's about 3 or 4 years. it's still a thing though. It's like, well, that's 3 or 4 school years, and we all know, I think, definitely the difference between a school year can be,
Yeah.
you know, immaturity and
Well, it's the difference
like
between
that.
cognition and not, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a similar thing to this one as well. Do you like the Blancmange episode?
Which
The one
one's
where
the
the Blancmange invade Earth to win Wimbledon.
I might have seen that one, but I
don't know if
can't
you know
think.
I hate that episode. It's a whole episode dedicated to an invasion of planet Earth by Blancmange as like a species, but for the purposes of winning Wimbledon or something like that.
Okay.
Or you see that, or someone like a famous Wimbledon player ends up saving the Earth from the Blancmange. I can't remember the details, but I specifically because I hate that episode, because the whole episode is that. It's just like no, it's not for me.
I love, just with like Python stuff, I like the scene we're watching now is, you know, an SS officer. John Cleese is an SS officer interrogating a British soldier, Michael Palin, and it's Chapman behind him, dressed all in like a black,
Like a Gestapo.
like a Gestapo, like a long leather trench coat with just a sign where his next saying Gestapo officer. And every time Cleese goes hit him, Chapman claps his hand to make the strike. It's just so stupid.
It's like it's kind of like in Life of Brian, biggest stick us, and the Emperor readies the guard. He's like, strike him down, Centurion.
Strike him down, Centurion. Strike him quite roughly. It's just Palin's voice as well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He plays that to perfection, I'm sorry.
Pontius Pilate. Christ.
Biggest? Diggers? Or was it, and
What was his wife's name? He was
Yeah,
the wife,
a lot
did.
of,
he has a wife, you know.
no,
Incontinentia.
Very
Yeah,
incontinentia.
Incontinentia
Sign.
buttocks. Oh man, I fucking love that scene. That, and again with Life Brian is when he's vandalizing. He's like, Romans go home. It's like Romanus et.
And he corrects him.
I can't think of what home is now, but he corrects him. He goes through the entire thing. He's gone by the year. He's like, in the and it's the command was. I mean, it's the imperative. He's like, good lads, right? He corrects it on the thing himself as well. They're right, what does he say?
Rated 100 times.
Or crucify you, something like that.
Yeah.
He says. He's just covered the entire place. Oh man. Did you ever watch Faulty Towers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a good one with the Germans on that, whenever he said not to mention the war, and he kept bringing it up all the time.
Oh man.
Those are my favourite episodes.
I don't buy into the hype of Fawlty Towers as much as some people do.
I tried.
Like
I tried to watch it a while back.
I mean, it's all right, but like a lot of people rate it as the greatest comedy of all time, and it's not that. It's not.
For me, one of the greatest comedy things of all time is Blackadder, but that's a totally different discussion. We're going to go
I
into
like
that.
Blackadder.
But yeah, Towers was. I liked certain aspects of Towers, like the Manuel bit. Again, died a few years ago.
Andrew Sachs.
Yeah, but yeah, Cleese is Cleese.
Yeah.
It's like he plays John Cleese. Like if he's angry, he's an angry John Cleese.
Yeah. And a lot of it was written by Connie Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's
No,
true,
wait.
yeah.
Is that that was his wife's name, wasn't it? Was it
Yeah,
I think it was
Cleveland?
Connie.
It was his second.
I'm sure it turned out like she actually wrote the bulk of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think she did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think people credit the thing of it to him purely because the inspiration was his, like the whole hotel thing.
Yeah. Because you watch Python, you watch Flying Circus, and you do see elements of Basil Fawlty in a lot of the stuff that Cleese does in general. Like,
well, that's it.
Like
He's
he
just
does
got
them,
that.
yeah.
It's because he just sounds the same when he's angry, and he just plays that character
he was good at it,
well.
He good at that. So yeah, it's like it's understandable why that would carry on into Basil Fawlty. Palin in his beginning and end things just gets battered. I love it.
Another one of my favourites from Meal Life is Eric Idle as the waiter from the Mr. Creosote restaurant. Obviously, Mr. Creosote's just blown up, and then he comes along and he says, "Oh, so sad," and he goes on obviously about the meaning of life because the whole thing is, "Oh, what's the meaning of life?" But you never learn it. He's like, "I know, follow me." So he makes you follow him for ages, just across like when you wouldn't be able to conceivably walk where
he went.
he is, like, do you know what I mean? And then he gets there and he's like, he points to his little cottage in like the arsehole of nowhere, and he's like, that's the meaning of life, to just be like happy and content, and like the most sensible thing that's been said in the entire film. And obviously the cameraman doesn't reply, and then he gets really annoyed and he's like, oh, well, fuck you then. He just gets really aggressive with the cameraman, and then he's like, oh, fuck off, and he just storms back to his house. It's just so needless.
Chapman could do a good angry. He could switch between like subdued to angry in like a second. Like it's in what do you call it? It's in Holy Grail, and it's like when he's versing the Black Knight, and at first he starts off, he's all like, "Good night, you know, you have the strength of 10 men. I would be honoured if you join me at Camelot." Blah blah blah. And Knight just doesn't respond to him, and in the end he's like, "Oh, come on, good servant, come in." He goes, "No more pass." He goes, I have no quarry, blah, blah, and he goes on, and then he's like, he just stops, and he's like, "We shall fight," and then he fights, and then he takes his arm off. he's so just.
But the way he walks is just, it's ridiculous.
But I love with like that scene in Holy Grail, where it's like Graham Chapman, gets down on knee with his sword and starts like praying to God. He's like, "Thank you for this," blah blah. And the blind just kicks him in the head. Just fucking kicks. Oh man. It goes on like that's what this with like Python sketches when they go on for
it's
so
just
long.
Absurdity, yeah.
And like it goes on for too long in any other person doing it, but because it's Pythons, they do it so well.
And like just the way he walks, like he's still holding
He's still
that
got
tense
the towel on
with
there. He's got the towel on their thing. And for everyone, he wouldn't lead you that far, but two, you wouldn't follow. You wouldn't follow.
You'd be like, right, far. I'm done.
Yeah, it's like for everyone, we're watching the scene where Argyle, the waiter, makes you follow him back to his cottage. It's just absurd. The fast he takes you. Fast distance. That's the way I was trying to think. Farness.
It's just his reaction when he, just because the cameraman doesn't reply, it has like obviously.
Yeah, it's a camera. Yeah,
and it's just like it's just so aggressive and like he's so offended by the cameraman that it just makes no sense.
But
I think one of my favourite things. I think this was Meaning of Life. Was it the Crimson Permanent Insurance Agency?
That's not. I
can't remember what they call it. The permanent insurance, isn't it?
That's.
I thought that was really good.
No, I hate that bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's 10 minutes at the start of the film that doesn't need to be there.
I think.
There's behind the scenes politics behind that. I think it's because, so with Holy Grail, the two Terrys directed.
Yeah.
But I think none of the Pythons really like Terry Gilliam as a director. So when Meaning of Life come around, obviously they went to Terry Jones, the director, again, and Terry Gilliam was like, "Well, it's my turn now because Terry done Life of Brian as well."
Yeah.
The compromise was, well, we let you do that 10-minute bit at the start, which is that bit you're on about, which was that he then used as like a preview for Time Bandits.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like him filming his resume for Time Bandits, and the Pythons just being like, right, what can we give Terry to make him shut up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like it, but because it is just it's
apparently
so removed from the rest of the film, and it's just its own little thing, and it's just like
apparently there was a lot of that between certain members. Anyways, like Cleese didn't
they used to work in pairs, didn't they?
It was like Cleese and
Chapman used to work together.
Yeah, they didn't like all the silly stuff. So, like for instance, Cleese to this day cannot stand the silly walk, because obviously Cleese is massive.
Yeah.
And obviously, him walking is going to be funny as fuck, because obviously his body is in weird proportions. But he hates it, because they kept writing it in, all the things he did. So all the live shows, they wrote it in. Like, Palin would write it all the time. But like, Michael Palin, Terry Jones, Eric Idle, they loved all the silly shit.
Yeah.
And obviously Gilliam as well, because he's weird as fuck.
I'm pretty sure Eric Idle wrote the Galaxy song.
Yeah, Eric Idle was the one that would work on his own. He used to like going off and working on his own.
Okay.
So it was... But that stems from, like you said, before Python, because Graham Chapman and John Cleese worked together for I think like 2 years on a show on BBC, and Terry Jones and Michael Palin worked together on a show on ITV for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So they were sort of, it was that thing of, do you mean a partnership already in it?
Yeah.
I think
But obviously Eric Idle didn't really fit into that because he was doing his own thing as well, where he came along and he was kind of like the odd one out because obviously Terry Gilliam wasn't writing any sketches.
Just made his own place in it, which is fantastic. But it's like you have certain ones, the absurd stuff, like the Freya Night and shit like that or the silly walk, the Ministry for Silly Walks. That's all like Jones and Palin. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And Cleese like the sort of other things, but
more highbrow stuff.
He definitely didn't like all the absurdity stuff, mainly because it centered around him doing weird shit.
Basically, like any sort of sketches with wordplay, like the wink wink nudge nudge thing, or
I don't
like
think
complicated
I've seen that one.
things.
I don't think I've seen Wink Wink Nudge Nudge.
I'm trying to think if
it sounds familiar. I think my dad is an avid
Terry
Monty Python
Jones is
fan.
just in a bar drinking,
and
then Eric Idle comes in and just sits like needlessly close to him, like right next to him, and he's just like, he starts talking to this guy normally, but he's saying normal things, but every time he says, like every third or fourth word, he's like, oh, wink wink nudge nudge, wink wink nudge nudge, or, you know what I mean,
I think I've seen it,
like he's saying something innuendo-ish, but then he progressively gets worse, where he's like, oh, is your wife a goer? And then he's like, oh, do you like photography? Do you like taking pictures of your wife? and then, but obviously Terry Jones then is obviously getting progressively more like offended and thing, but it's just, but Eric Idle's character, you can tell he's asking those sort of things because he's very obviously never seen like a naked woman before.
Yeah.
And then that's obviously what then the roundabout part of the joke is that he's essentially a virgin. But it's just the way he's like, oh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And nod is good to a blind bat. Brilliant.
He's like the kid in the playground who know has never had sex before, but he's always like, oh yeah, I've sex.
Like they've never had sex before, but they constantly talking about like tits and stuff.
It's
like, have you ever seen that film, The 40-Year-Old Virgin? Have you ever touched
I've never seen that, no.
Like sand. He's like, what? You're a virgin? My dad, my old man's an avid Python fan, and we got like one of the scripts in the house. So I think I don't know if I've shown you. But,
maybe, possibly.
But it was a script for I think it was Life of Brian, because that was his favourite one, and it's still like got all the scribbles out from changing of different lines and stuff. I should have brought it up really.
Any favourite songs? I'm not accepting always look on the bright side of life as an answer.
That's fair.
No, Every Sperm is Sacred.
I don't really know much of the songs.
That's quite funny. That just made me laugh.
Yeah. That's my mother's favourite one. My mother finds that hilarious, but
I just think the writing of
specifically the part where she's like washing the dishes and then the babies are just falling out of it.
I think sit in my face is probably.
Sit in my face is for me.
It's just one of the most well known as well. It's just my favourite.
I like the penis song from Mean in Life.
Oh God, what's the penis song?
Isn't it awfully good to have a penis?
I've heard that for ages. The Galaxy song is probably
the Galaxy song is amazing.
Yeah.
I learnt more from the Galaxy song than
I did in science.
From doing the solar system in science.
Yeah.
And I generally have.
Yeah.
I
think that
Eric the Half-a-Bee.
Don't think I've seen it.
It's fantastic.
I'm not familiar with most of the songs. To be fair.
Eric Half-a-Bee is brilliant. You love that.
I'll have a look.
I Like Chinese is another one just because it's just so absurdly racist, but it's about not being racist. Yeah. It's just genius.
It's cleverly written.
Yeah. Have either of you seen Spam a lot?
No, I've never seen it.
I would love to go and see Spam a lot.
Heard of it.
God.
Apparently Eric Idle used to be God or something.
Well, it's the Holy Grail. It's just the musical.
Yeah, but apparently he used to be God in it.
Yeah, but that would make sense. I'm not sure if it's still running anymore.
I don't know
because
I'd like to see it at some point because I've heard quite a lot about it. Like Law was telling me about it a while back. I will say, looking back over Python, especially this week for this, and having quite recently watched Fry and Laurie, or a bit of Fry and Laurie,
Don't think I've seen that
Stephen.
one.
It was Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie's sketch show.
Okay.
In like the late 80s, 90s, and it's just like seeing. It's like watching two Ronnies, and the sketches there. It's like you can see where.
I do like this sketch.
Yeah, it's not going anymore.
With the mice.
Yeah.
He plays the mice, doesn't he?
It's like.
Yeah,
and everyone's
he actually whacks
appalled
up.
by it. Yeah.
He gets a mallet, doesn't he?
Yeah.
G.
But it's like it's seeing like two Ronnies and stuff like a bit of Fry and Laurie and who the one that did. What was the show David Mitchell did with
Mitchell and Webb.
Mitchell and Webb and
Mitchell and Webb,
Armstrong and whatever, and seeing those sketch shows, you can see where that came from.
Fun fact. So, I'm not going to name names, but I used to have a friend, and I have a friend.
I just love that.
Who,
He goes back for more, doesn't he? Have you seen the argument sketch?
Yes.
They go in for an argument, but he walks into the wrong room, doesn't
This one is.
This is where
the counsellor as well.
With the accountant. He's a recurring character.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
he?
Like he's actually, like they name him. His name's Arthur something, I think. But he shows up in like multiple sketches, like as a character with like a run-in story.
Right.
I mean. What was I on about before that?
I know you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Yeah, that's totally gone.
Were you looking up something?
I don't know. I might have been. Let me go back to my phone.
You were on about spam a lot, weren't you? And saying,
I was on about
we
spam
didn't.
a lot.
It's not going anymore.
I can't remember. It wasn't to do with spam a lot. I don't think. I don't know. It'll come back to you when it needs to.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying too hard to think about it now.
Yeah, it's not going to come to do that. I think one of my favourite scenes as well is Mr. Hilter. Have you ever seen that one?
Don't think so.
Have you seen that one, Ash? Basically, a couple goes to a seaside town.
Right, carry on.
Keep on your eyes. They go to seaside town for their holiday. And it's like a B&B, sort of like by the sea, like we have down the front of Swansea. And so the landlady, she's showing around. This is Mr. Blah blah, Mr. Blah blah blah. And she goes to one table and it's like, oh, and this is son, one new one. This is Mr. Hilter, and it's just fucking Adolf Hitler, Joseph Goebbels, and fucking Himmler.
Yeah, no, I know.
I haven't seen that one.
Looking over a map.
I have seen that.
I'll have to see that.
And so,
Good.
and so it's just like, she's like, they've been planning something for weeks, and they just pull over like a map of Stalingrad, and just plan. And so they don't speak in English. They speak in German accents and everything. And every so often, Himmler slips up. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my friend." Like John Cleese is Hitler as well in this. Slaps him, goes, I mean, Dickie old chap. And, it's so stupidly awkward. That's just funny as fuck. Yeah. It's just so good, so well done as well.
Have you watched Jojo Rabbit yet?
Not yet. No.
Oh, I need to watch that. It's really good.
Man. Yeah, it's really good. So Mitchell and Webb, you watched that, do you?
I've watched bits of it, yeah.
So have you seen Digby Chicken Caesar, the tramp?
I think I have.
Dude, right. So Digby Chicken Caesar is a tramp character. Robert Webb plays, and David Mitchell then is like his tramp best buddy. Right. But it's like a spoof of Holmes and Watson.
Right.
So he's an alcoholic, but he thinks he's like a world-class detective and that he's like employed by the Queen and stuff. And obviously then David Mitchell's character is like his Watson. But I know someone who works at a Domino's, and I shouldn't probably be about the specific name of the thing, but still, they work at a pizza place, and at this pizza place, basically, if the pizza's like a prank call or whatever, they take it back, and then the employees are allowed to take it home after work.
Right.
Okay.
So we used to do a thing where I would order a fake Domino's to a fake address, knowing it would obviously go back, and then they would be allowed to take it home, and then we'd eat that pizza. And I used to use the name Digby Chicken Caesar as my false name for it. I did.
Do I know
I've done that
do I
for
know
my
this
boys.
individual?
Yeah. You do.
I think it's probably the individual I'm thinking of. Isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
I think I've only prank called Domino's once, and I was to say I ordered a pizza.
Looks a hell of a lot like Justin Bieber in his driving license. You know what I'm on about.
I know exactly who you're fucking on about.
Yeah, we've done that for about 4 years. And not just, I mean, not just like we'd order a pizza and do it. We'd have like 3 pizzas, like we'd order like 60 quid's worth of pizza, knowing it was going to go back and he was going to get to bring it home.
Class.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, so Digby Chicken Caesar's had his fair share of free pizzas.
Fair. Obviously, if anyone from Domino's is listening to this, we would never do that. We're a very responsible podcast here.
I'm going to beep out the name anyway. I'll beep out Domino's.
So, yeah.
And I will.
When I was in Amsterdam, one of the best things we found was a Papa John's and a KFC next to each other.
You're so British.
We didn't. We had KFC once, and then we went out for food.
So British.
For fair
oh my
play,
God.
mine. I don't know how they do it. They make a good burger out there. I wonder why, because God knows what was in it. But
I don't get people who do that. Like people who go to Greece or Turkey
and
or
have
Spain,
KFC.
and they spend their entire holiday looking for McDonald's because they're afraid to eat anything.
Yeah.
Or just the whole point. It's the whole point of going away. You try their things.
It's like, why would you go away?
No, but it's not even even boiled down to that. It's like you can find British restaurants and do you know what I mean?
But McDonald's.
But a case of I don't want to that because like the restaurants here are dirty. What? Why? Nah, it's not for me. But and I'm not being funny. But if you are gonna find a dirty restaurant abroad, it's gonna be in a McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just
if you worry about dirty restaurant, fucking never seen half the British kebab places yet.
yeah.
Or McDonald's or KFC.
I remember a Cosmos in Swansea. That's gonna be
Cosmo.
The most dirtiest places around.
Cosmo's always been there in Swansea, but the Cosmo's favourite trick is to, when they get caught, just change their name.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to fall for it. Because I always sees it, like, what was it before Cosmo? It was something else before that. It was exactly...
Nines now, isn't it? But now they call
there
it
we are.
Cosmo, then it was something else.
The exact same owners, exact same place.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
they got caught.
It had, in this, like, as you go through the doors, it had that, like, glitter statue thing.
Yeah.
It's still got it.
No, it's the same owners. It is.
Yeah, I know, yes.
Is.
But it's like, they don't make it...
But that's because they get done by the health people, closed down, and then people makes a big fuss about it on Facebook, and then they rebrand 2 weeks later with a new name, and those exact same people who have just shared the post are all like, oh my God, queuing outside whatever new name they've chosen, and it's like, are you for real? Idiots. Because China used to do it. China used to... That's, like, I found out people used to do it because I know someone used to work in China. They were like, no, it's still the same place, but they've just changed the name, yeah.
This scene is funny. It's obviously it's a thing of the father, the son coming home having done well for himself, doing something that's not like a traditional thing, but it's like flipped. So he's come back. He's actually a coal miner, and his father's like he's into dance. He's a dancer.
Oh right, okay.
So it's like Mr. Guillermo in South Park.
Oh God!
So just like
Mr. Guillermo, I love that Mr. Guillermo. It's like, you're gonna dance, you're gonna watch High School Musical.
That's such a good episode, man.
You're not gonna be a filthy little jock.
Slap you.
Slap you.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
Super hard. What a crack!
High School Musical spoof one.
God.
Brilliant.
That was unbelievably class.
That's one of my favourite episodes because I was one of those kids in high school where I did not get the High School Musical craze, and it wasn't even that I didn't like musicals. Like, have you met me?
I like musicals.
Speaking
Seriously.
of that, our good Domino's friend, fucking obsessed with High School Musical.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
A part of that episode which made me laugh is, like where he slaps the Child Protective Agency and he sees that guy and just magically teleports over to slap him and teleports back. I was like, what? I'm pretty sure he just literally teleported over to someone else's door. Slaps him a couple of times and goes back.
Yeah. Speaking of musicals, I was 6.
Fucking...
Do you know what? I'd never heard of it before, and then you were like, I'm going to see 6. I was like, what's that? And then I sent you the screenshot of someone like, I'm going to see 6, and I know like 8 people who've gone to see it.
Man,
Where did you go for it?
So me and Laura went to Calf last weekend, and man, it's fucking awesome. It was so good. It's basically
like what is it? Is it?
So, right.
It's got to be a comedy, is it? Or
right. So for people who don't know, 6 is based on the 6 Wives of Henry VIII. That's why it's called 6. And they're all in a band. They're all like a girl band sort of thing. And yeah, so basically, they have a competition between themselves who's going to be the front person of the band, and their bet is who had the worst time of Henry VIII. So that's the thing. That's the premise.
Right.
So all the songs they sing about themselves, is their efforts to show this was me having the worst time, and it's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's actually
it has to be a comedy
funny
because that's a really dull, grim musical otherwise.
Yeah,
it was funny. Apart from Catherine Howard's song. She was the one. She was number 5, and she was one of the ones that got beheaded. And she's gone down in history as like
who wins? Is it Amblin?
No one really wins. They've all sort of decided that why should they be like confined to his wives, whereas ex-wives, all that sort of thing. And yeah, so basically all of them are funny as fuck, in their own way. And Howard was always gone down in history as like very promiscuous. She slept around with everyone, blah blah blah, and in the end, that's why Henry chopped her head off, because she was a promiscuous one. But it's like one of the opening lines is I was 13, going on 30, like, and the guy was 23. So at that side, you sort of like looking at it from like a medical point. It's like he's 23, she's 13, going on 30, mate. So obviously it makes it all good. And the last bit, it's like basically every like chorus of it is her getting all the attention from different men, blah blah. She said the king and the king's friends, and she goes a bit sleazy, and then her tone drops. So all for this, she's been like really giddy, really happy, and then her tone drops quite serious. Like all they want to do is touch me, blah blah blah. And I guess you sort of look at, oh shit, she's been raped since the age of 13, basically. And each new guy in her life, it hits you quite hard. Like looking at the real world, that's rather than like the historical aspect overall.
Yeah,
it's actually really interesting. It was funny as fuck. But then
there's something really depressing.
Little aspects really like got the actual part down. What?
The guy who wrote it is younger than all 3 of us.
I can't remember his name though.
Toby Marlowe.
Yeah, something like that.
Not sure.
He looked. I saw something sort of like a picture of the two that wrote it, him and someone else, and yeah, they looked young. Or at least he did anyway.
He's 25.
Oh, so he's same age as me.
25.
Just probably same age as me then.
Yeah.
Fuck, bastard.
Good for him. Well done.
Yeah, no,
fair play. That's a cracking thing to write down as well. It was a gruesome part of history. That was.
That's that was a really. It can't be anything other than comedy, because otherwise, it's just going to be a boring musical.
Like to be fair, all the songs were funny apart from one. It was Jane Seymour was the one that died, and obviously like it's always said like she's the one he always loved because she gave him a son. Doesn't mean he loved her. It means the fact he loved to give him blah blah. But it's like her song was like generally like.
You got to have a ballad in there.
A bit, I did have a bit of a tear up because it was a generally fantastic ballad as well. And all the songs, like all the girls who did on this run anyway, were really fucking good. Like I've listened to, I think maybe the original ones, and I wasn't so much a fan of those when they've done performances more recently. But like their actual like studio recordings, are fucking brilliant. If you get a chance,
I'm really intrigued. Because I never heard of it, and then suddenly you mentioned it, and then everyone was like, "What?"
But go on YouTube and type in 6 musical. And just listen to the songs. Like probably my favorite is Anne Boleyn's song, and what's her name now? Anna Cleves. Really fucking good.
Let's do this then. Who did have the worst time under him? It's got to be Catherine Howard or Anne Boleyn.
Probably Catherine. Let's be fair. He's divorced.
He literally kept her prisoner.
I'm gonna basically say
no, but you can't go off that.
Outright, Anna Cleves. Anna Cleves didn't have any sort of thing. Basically. She had a very, should we say, pronounced nose. And the one who did her portrait sent to Henry to see if he
yes.
Right. This is number
lied.
This is number 4. Painted her front on. Obviously, when you saw it, you saw it from
she
the
had
side
nose
as well.
like that.
Yeah, nose like, well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so, but she was from a wealthy family anyway. I think this was like husband number 3 or 4, something like that. And so basically, he divorced her. She got a palace in London, as much fucking money as she wanted for the rest of her life, basically.
She was a kept woman.
She bred horses, race horses, did really fucking well at it. And went hunting, went to court if she wanted to. Basically did whatever the fuck she wanted and didn't get in trouble with Henry at all from that day on. Which, that's fucking good. From a normal and from all the rest of his wife's point of view.
I mean, Anne Boleyn, but then Catherine of Aragon, he literally...
The thing is, he was married to Aragon for 24 years.
For like...
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he gave her her own pass, but you wouldn't ever see
Mary.
I mean...
Well, think he was married to Catherine of Aragon for 24 years.
I mean,
Then he got Anne Boleyn in his eye, divorced her because she wouldn't leave and go to a nunnery. That's what he basically wanted to say. She wasn't his wife by right of her originally being his brother's wife. But she was like, "Oh, you have to go to a nunnery." And she said, "No, fuck that. I've been queen for 24 years. Fuck you."
Yeah.
So it's just like she has a bad fucking time of it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Anne Boleyn.
I think
it may have been part of her father like pushing for it and for her to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's to do with like the slander that's sort of thought of with Anne Boleyn.
Yeah. So it's obviously like we're not sure exactly.
I'd go with one of those two personally as the most.
Al Cleve's
but
definitely
probably Catherine of
Jane
Aragon.
Seymour was just basically let him do whatever he wanted and didn't kick up a fuss because she was like, "Oh, he's good when he wants to be." But it's like, apparently she got like battered as well. Like he just did what he wanted.
Henry VIII was a prick.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely. If even that, if I was back in time, I'd do things a bit differently. But I'd probably get beheaded for my efforts as well.
Yeah, and then obviously
cutting that. Said I'm cutting that out.
What was that bit? I missed that.
You said, Henry VIII was a bit of a cunt. We said, but if I could travel back in time, I probably would be doing things like that as well.
No. I mean, I could. I could
what are you
kick
saying?
his ass.
So what are you saying?
Put me in it.
So what? Hold on. What specifically is it about that period that appeals to you? Was it the rape, the racism, the famine, the unpunished murders? Which specifically would you partake in?
I just reckon I could take Henry VIII on in a fight personally.
That's not what you said.
Fair enough, I take that. Okay, I'm not. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I dropped myself.
I get you like the power and everything. Like,
no, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
I just don't like Henry VIII. I thought he's an ass.
Oh yeah, he's gone. He's the reason.
I'd be a fair ruler.
He's famous. The reason he's famous is because he has 6 wives.
Yeah.
And sadly, the reason.
And I suppose there's the church thing, but that's a byproduct.
They did go through hell, to be fair.
But sadly, like the reason they're famous is because of him, which which is his last wife. Well, I can remember anyway. Catherine Parr. She actually, after him, she got back with a lover who she actually wanted to be with, but couldn't because Henry wanted her. So she had to. Wrote books. And it'd be a thing if his wives got recognition for what they did rather than just being his wives.
Yeah.
But that's history, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that aside.
Yeah, I mean, we've given a full-on history lecture now. Back to Python. Would you have... So, the horrible histories, just because it's in my head now, and Python. So, you know the League of Gentlemen done, like, their own special episode of that, where they just wrote it in, with, like, in the whole episode. Imagine if Monty Python could have done that. Like, they wouldn't have been too old to do horrible histories, just one-off episode special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they do it pretty well as well. They'd be
amazing.
They would be amazing.
Man, horrible history is another thing. That's so fucking good.
I have not seen it for a while.
I thought you were going to say you haven't seen it then. I was like,
I've seen it.
I was going to say, if you haven't fucking seen horrible histories and you're a British kid, then you haven't fucking lived.
Do you know what, though? I was too old for horrible histories when it came on TV. I would have been considered too old to be watching horrible histories. But horrible histories is just too good.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's just like a good teacher.
Timeless. Yeah.
Like,
it made like some boring things a bit fun.
It made some hard things fun. It's like not just like hard like to understand, like just hard to hear.
Yeah.
Like you know, stuff they did with ancient Egyptian stuff, like the mummification. They went through that and fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hobbit is great. Won't get too far into that because that's a fucking rabbit hole in itself.
Oh God,
Going
yeah.
through the fucking
That's-
songs of
that's an
horror history.
episode.
Jesus Christ.
So then, Hugh,
Yo,
you've just come back from Amsterdam.
I have. I came
My
back
question for you
2 a.m.
is:
this morning.
are you a man who has now slept with 2 hookers, or are you a man who has still only slept with 1?
I am a man who has slept with 1.
Really?
Yes.
I'm shocked. I would be more inclined hold on. I would be a lot more inclined to purchase a hooker in Amsterdam than Studio
no.
95.
Like,
I'm shocked.
Wow. You went there.
did you not know?
No.
Oh damn.
Like, back me up on that.
Fucking hell.
Your
Are you,
choice
sure, are you
is-
sure you've still got a dick? Like, are you sure it hasn't rotten off by now?
I'm very certain. Last I checked.
That's just the
Let me check. It's still there.
Fucking hell. Studio 95.
Yeah, Studio
We
95.
probably know a few girls that work there.
Possibly.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
I'm surprised. Go on, what's...
I don't know.
What's the crack then?
I went to red light. I was only there for an hour. I mean, I paid a girl in the red light to give me a dance. I had a dance, but it's not same. And also, like, it was the money as well. They ain't cheap.
No? How much?
I paid €50 for the dance.
You know what?
And like,
Hold on. When I was last in Amsterdam, it was £35 for a blowjob and
Gone up.
€65 for an hour.
Gone up. Was it?
That's mad.
It was 50 for a dance.
They
and
charging more or less the same for a dance now than they would have for a full-on jump when I was last there.
Studio. It was 40 for half hour, and the dance went on. And then she's like, "Oh, do you want more? Do you want more?" And I was thinking to myself, she hasn't told me how much she's going to charge me. So I didn't want it anyway, to be fair. Like, cause I thought,
Well, didn't you ask how much?
it didn't be fair. It was an extra 50 on top, just for one. I get for a blow job or anything like that. So I was like, "Nah, I'm not paying that."
No, but how much would it have been for just not a dance? Just to...
Oh, probably about, I think it's about €60. Their base price was like between 50
Oh,
and 60.
I thought you fucking
What?
about Studio
That doesn't make
95, I did.
sense. I'm confused. Yeah, I'm confused now. I don't know what he's talking about.
This is what this is what
Right,
it is.
Studio 95. How much was Studio 95?
Hold on. Yeah.
Oh,
How much did the hooker in Amsterdam want for sex? Just sex.
I'd say about, I think she said about €60. And I'll give you...
And you paid 50 for a dance? Just a dance?
Yeah. But I didn't want it. I didn't want the shag man anyway.
Now, what did I just say 2 seconds ago? When I was last there, it was 65 for a shag. Why then didn't you say it still is?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it took me... Yeah.
I still can't believe you went...
That was in one place.
So,
though,
hold on as well, though. No, hold on as well, though. Going off that logic, I would assume that a blowjob is still €30. So if you hadn't have had a dance and just a blowjob, not a dance and a blowjob...
A blowjob would have cost 50 because my friend had one.
Right.
€50.
Alright, that's... Alright.
It's got a little bit then.
And that was only in one of the shops, by the way. So, like, you know, other places may have charged more.
It's the same all over.
Yeah. I also...
The problem is then, if one place's charges 50, everyone goes there, so then the other place...
Yeah, that's true.
It's always been the same. That's probably why it still stays the same price.
Yeah.
Right, carry on, sorry.
I can't believe you...
I was confused a bit then.
Yeah, no, I sorry,
Go to
I
Studio
realised
95.
I said yes. So, like, yeah, because like Studio 95 is £40 for half an hour.
Right.
And then obviously in Dam, it's like, I guess you pay them, and it's just until like they didn't really give me a time. I was in there for a good 10-15 minutes. So yeah.
Well.
But Dan, I'm shocked he didn't know.
I'm shocked we're in Studio 95.
Oh man, now this is a whole story on its own, right? Now let me give you my side of the story
rundown.
first, just
Right.
from my perspective,
Okay.
before you get the context, because bearing in mind I didn't have context.
Fair.
So shout out to my favourite little Hillrat buddy Charlie Pitson, because I was with him at this particular time. We were at I wouldn't call it a house party, but the next best thing anyway.
Yeah.
So we were both obviously a little bit buzzed. Next thing then, I get a message from Hugh saying, I can't remember exactly, but more or less, I've booked in with a hooker. And I was just like, right. I was like, right, well, this needs more than just this one sentence. 1, why? 2, why?
Where?
3,
Why am I telling you?
yeah, 3, why you tell me. 4, why you tell me without any context. And I was like, right, I just need a lot more than what you're giving me right now. So then we got into it. and do you mean to blah blah? So I say to him then, right, has this girl got like a website? Is it a phone number? Like, how have you booked this? And he's like, right, my friend's booked it on this website for me. He sends me this link to this website. Dan, I took one look at this website. If this girl existed, then by Christ, she needs to sort her fucking web presence out, because oh my god, I took one look at this girl's profile and just thought, well, this isn't real. She had like, so the idea of this site was like, people obviously comment on it and like rate it. No comments, just the one picture which didn't show her face. It was very, very blatantly just like a false profile. The number on it was like not a UK number.
Do you remember the website?
Yeah, I know that. I got the website.
Yeah, you've still got
You
it.
need to punch it in. Yeah, I know that. I know it off by heart.
That's a bit worrying.
Are you sure it's only been the one who? Are you sure it's only been the one time?
Yeah. I won't say it on the channel.
No, I was gonna say.
No, God, no.
I'll punch in your phone. Just gonna carry on.
Yeah.
But I just thought, how have you fallen for booking this? Do you know what I mean? Because like I'm not being funny, and I don't think it's too unbelievable to say. I have never
of locations.
Oh fucking
ranging
hell!
from London all the way down to Cambridge. So I'll punch in.
Yeah, go on, put the one you.
Where is it?
Right, like I said, I have honest to God never used a hooker in my entire life, nor ever would. But that's not to take away from any sex workers, but it's just not for me. But even I know what fucking adult work is.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just like, why have you gone to this dodgy ass looking website when there's adult work? And he's like, don't worry about it, it's done now. So he's booked in, and I thought, right, yeah, okay. She isn't turning up because she doesn't exist. And then what happened to you?
Well,
basically, she didn't turn up because she didn't exist.
What?
Yeah, she didn't turn up. I went to
But that's not the end of it.
Oh fucking hell!
It's what I did. There you go.
Is this her?
No.
I was gonna say, because how is this profile still up? Why haven't you like?
You may find it actually on but there you go.
Oh,
These are all the ones in around Swansea and
Fucking
Cardiff.
hell!
Yeah, it's what I did because I messed it. I was there for about
None of the ones he chose. Well, even these. Do you know what I mean? Like these.
Right, I'm gonna say so. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I say out of the first 10, 9 of these are fake.
Yeah, I mean, you're either 21 or you're 25, love. There's no in between.
I was gonna say. So the ages, for everyone, we're just on the website who's found. So, name of this girl. Number one search thing. Name of this girl. Hot girl. Available today. Age 18 to 20. Independent. Hot young girl. No rush. Best. Swansea.
Sponsored.
Oh.
Next one. Which potentially may be real. It's got
That
potentially
looks,
a real photo.
yeah,
like
that
a
seems.
mirror selfie. Maya, available today. Age 21 to 25. What the fuck's up with these 21 to what? It's like.
Yeah, like you're either. There's no in between.
Sizzling
That's
hot
not how
Maya.
age works.
Superb service. No. Swansea.
And she's written that herself. So she doesn't offer superb service, just so you know.
Kate, I guess you have to click on them, but I don't really want to click on them for the rest of the thing. He's just like the brief blurbs. Kate, age 26 to 30. Again, what the fuck? Agency escort. Kate exudes an aura of class.
Okay.
Cardiff. In call, yes. Alcohol, yes.
I'm literally just shaking my head. That's it.
Oh, yeah. So Kate was just an aura of class. Rhea exudes an aura of sheer class.
Oh. Oof.
I bet she pays extra for that as well.
Yeah, that's an extra tenner right there.
Yeah.
Carmen, beautiful, busty, ultra sexy Latina Cardiff.
Shocking. Anyway, carry
yeah,
on then.
we're not getting more to this because I don't. My phone
Yeah,
is
she turns
rid
up.
of any more
I
STDs.
turn
Turns
up.
up where he's supposed to go. She's not there
Right.
because she doesn't exist.
So I get picked up, and then we try booking another one.
Who picked you up?
I won't reveal names. It was a
Her
friend.
pimp.
All right, okay, no.
My friend. A
I
friend.
thought far worse.
Yeah, I did as well.
No, friend picked me up. we tried booking another one. So they said, oh, it's in postcode. The address is. It just sent us the postcode.
Fucking
And then
hell.
we were like, there's 400 houses.
Wait, there was another one in between this and studio again?
Yeah. Didn't I tell you
I didn't know that. Did you
Oh,
book it
it's-
on the same website?
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my god.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I can't remember.
Oh my god.
Hey, you
But,
could have been. Your organs could
I
have been
didn't
somewhere
book
else
it,
by
so
now.
I wasn't. Booking it. But they sent us an address, and it wasn't even an address. It's just a postcode. We're like, oh, there's 400 houses in this location. No answer. So then, after that, then I sort of gave up all hope. And by this point, also, did I mention I popped the freaking tab as well?
Ah, there's another
Fucking
aspect I
hell.
forgot. Yeah, sorry, go back to my side again now. So yeah, you telling me about this was the in-between bit. I left it out between him linking me to the girl and him telling me because I've forgotten it. But now I remember. He tells me, oh, I'm going to pop a Viagra. Now, don't you interrupt, because I've got the screenshots, and so is Charlie.
Yeah.
I've got no. That's not
Genuine.
even the funny part about it. I'm going to pop a Viagra so I can last longer. That's not how it works, Hugh. That's not what Viagra does.
Oh god.
And me and Charlie are just looking at these and just pissing ourselves because we're just like, that's not how it works. Like, it's so frustrating.
Oh god.
And I messaged him like, that's not how it works. And he's like, well, how does it work then? I was like, I'm not explaining to you how Viagra works. One, because you shouldn't need it. You're not an 80-year-old man. And two, I just don't understand any of what's going on right now. And so yeah, sorry, but carry on. I completely forgot. I wiped that from my memory. You
Yeah.
know what that is? That is me going to a nice, peaceful place where that didn't exist in my
It's like
life.
stupid shit.
Like
in
a
the
repressive memory. Yeah. Oh, brilliant! I love it.
Right.
Carry
so,
on, Hugh.
So
Sorry.
that was number 2. You get to place of just a postcode and no.
At what
and
point
no
did you
answer.
pop the Viagra then? Was this like going to the first meeting or?
Yeah.
Fucking-
So how long are we talking here between
wait-
all of
I
this?
popped about 10 a.m.
I thought he was going to say he popped about 10 then. I was going to fucking cry. So you popped about 10 a.m.
I was booked for about 11. Obviously, she didn't.
10
show.
a.m.
And I'm assuming it was still in effect.
It was varying, yes.
So how long was
So-
it in effect? Like,
Before I went to studio, about 2-3 hours.
So
so you were driving around with a stiffy for 3 hours looking for a
I was sat in a pub at one point. I won't go into details of that.
put a pint glass on
Yeah,
it.
I was fucking crying. I was gone. And in the end, then, like,
fuck, it's gonna be to go to bakery. We fucking skewed them.
yeah.
So you went into studio life for the rock hard.
Yeah. Well, not exactly. Not
I'd
exactly.
already been rock hard for 3 hours.
It was. I went in, and then I was.
Oh, Christ.
What when you went Studio 95 then?
Oh well, like,
Oh, fuck.
I never really entered. I tried entering when no cars were parting. So I walked in. I buzzed the door.
Well, who? I think at some point you did fucking enter something.
Yeah. So you buzz like a little doorbell thing, right? And it opens. You
Hey,
walk
everywhere
out.
he went, he was entering 5 minutes before the rest of him anyway.
Yeah. So I was literally shitting myself at this point. So I was like, I walked up and it's like this old bird answer. She must be about 55, 60 odd. She goes, oh hello dear, how are you?
Oh, this is worse. This would have killed
It's
me.
not
I
just
don't know
hello,
who
do you want
managed.
me to explain this or you?
No,
you carry
I
on.
want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Alright, so I walked in. And she's like, oh hello dear, how are you? And I was like, oh I'm fine. It's a little nervous. She goes, oh that's okay, we'll sort that out. And I was like, oh, I've never been here before. He goes, oh haven't you? No. He goes, oh I said, so let me tell you all about it. And
Haven't you? Look the type.
And,
Judging by your pants, you've been here before.
It's like, she's like, oh, okay, look, you know, they explain, like, you know, the girl, I said, oh, I have 3 girls, one of them's busy, and I was like, yeah, I bet. And,
I don't
she's like, I got 2
what
at
to
the
say
minute.
about them.
She says, oh, yeah, I got 2 at the minute. It was basically, she said, like, they'll walk out, they introduce themselves, and you choose one, it's £40
By
for
all
half
2 of
hour.
them.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, sounds good to me. She goes, oh, have a seat on the couch, don't worry, you'll be fine. So I sit down on the couch, I'm just like, looking around, like, what the fuck am I doing here? And there's 2 of them walk out. I can't remember the first one's name, but the one I had, I think, was called Sarah. Probably not her real name, to be fair, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They walk away, then the lovely old lady comes back and says, oh, which one would you like? And I said, oh, I'll take Sarah, please. She goes, oh, okay, no worries. She goes, you have no reason to be nervous. And I stood up and got ready to go. She goes, oh, wait right here, I'll go get her. So she walks upstairs. And all I hear from the corridor is, Sarah, you are up. He goes, look, it's his first time here. He's incredibly nervous. Go easy on the boy.
Now that would
Fucking hell.
that would kill me. That's worse. That's shocking, isn't it? I bet you were dying when she said that, were you?
And I was just like,
I'd have just been like, oh, and that's a proper just
That-
facing on.
That bit to that girl, she must be.
That makes it sound like you was a virgin.
I was gonna say, yeah.
no, because Pepe, the girl asked if I was as well, like the one Sarah asked. I said no. I said I just haven't been here before. She was that's all right. And she's actually sound as fuck, to be fair.
What, your Facebook
Say
friends,
job.
now, was it?
No, fuck that.
How do you meet? Work?
Yeah, and then it happened then, didn't it? I got destroyed.
Well, it cost me that for 3 hours.
I mean, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
How much was it in there?
40.
45.
40 for half hour.
And how much would you have paid with if the first one had turned up?
100.
So you saved 60 quid anyway.
Yep.
I mean, not that she was fucking real, but
No. But
I could never go. Not I don't think I would anyway. Go to a strip club. I just like you said, I'm not that sort of thing.
it's just not for
But
me,
it's like
man.
I could never go to a strip club or to a prostitute in the city I was born and raised in.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm
Imagine
sorry.
that. Yeah, imagine walking in there and bumping into someone you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine walking
Like-
in and
And
bumping into a
I
family
know
member.
people who've been there as well. Like, not like I was like, shit.
Like, don't get me wrong, I imagine that's probably more embarrassing for them than it is you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because, like, that's, do you mean that's their job, and then...
Yeah. But
Like, I did this while I was working way up in Sheffield. So,
No, I know, but you were working there, you weren't living there. You were still living here, mate. If for anything, you should have done it with one in Sheffield. Because you live here, so you were never going to see her again.
so you went to C95 in Sheffield?
No, yeah.
Oh right, I was thinking then.
No.
Fucking.
Because, I mean, realistically now, there's a chance that she might end up working with you in the future, or you might bump into her, or she might Chris might bring a girl home, and it might be her.
Man,
That would be fun.
I doubt that.
Chris is his brother.
In fact, she's probably twice the age of Chris.
No, but you get, like, my point.
Yeah.
I could never go to a strip club in Swansea. I just couldn't.
No.
I just couldn't do it. Just because I'm like, can you imagine seeing like someone you grew up with, or even a family member? Fuck that.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it?
It's a mad one. Would I go back? Probably not.
Probably not.
That's
No?
why I kind of got a bit turned away at red lights. Like, you know, like you had the option to do it, but I thought back and I think, nah. You know, you've done it.
I mean, there's a difference between Swansea and Amsterdam.
There is. Obviously, I know Amsterdam's probably one of the more safest places.
I bet the girls in studio Anna Scratch on the ones in Amsterdam. Because, oh my god, you gotta
I had
say,
to be dragged away from red lights.
Amsterdam cultivated the best, cultivated like the most beautiful women in the world. Those
I will say,
women
apparently
doing that job
Australia's
for a reason.
got a really good
And the one
system.
who gave me a dance was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, no, the girls in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Ah,
You just see
like-
them walking around, like just in the windows. You're like, bloody
Yeah.
hell. It's just mad and it's quite breathtaking.
That's the thing. Like I said, I wouldn't. But
I couldn't-
Amsterdam is like this where you goes there, you think it's easy to think that, but when you there, you just you never seen anything like it. Because it is
mad.
a work of art. That's why you're not allowed to take pictures,
Yeah.
because it's
You,
mad.
you could use your phones. People were using their phones. But
Yeah.
as soon as someone takes a picture, well, no one did. That's the thing. I didn't see anyone taking photos.
I think the fact they know what's going to happen if they take
Yeah.
a fucking picture. A really big guy is going to ask them to leave.
Yeah.
the police were up there as well. To be fair, on fucking massive horses. I've never seen them this size. I'm just looking up at them.
Well, it's like Australia's got legalized prostitution as well.
I
There.
think Vegas do as well.
But it's like all prostitution in Australia is legalized, and like
It's legal
brothels
here.
everywhere. Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was illegal.
No, curb crawling is illegal, but prostitution is legal.
Right. So like brothels are legal.
But it's one of those it's one of those weird things where brothels aren't legal.
all right.
Massage parlors
That's
are
what
legal.
studio. That's what
Ah,
But
studio is
brothels aren't.
disguised
But
as.
also at the same time, like I said, curb crawling is illegal. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, well,
Right.
how do you
okay.
apply your trade?
I got you. Because I know there used to be a gentleman's club
Yeah.
up by the mosque, round the corner from Sin.
Mm.
I don't think it's there anymore. Or if it is there, they've taken away the fucking
Oh
window
God, what was it
decals.
called? Yeah,
on
because
top.
they used to have a flashing light.
Yeah,
up
and
in
they used to have the
top
window
floor.
decals on top. I think
Yeah.
they've it's
Is it
either
called
gone,
Bunnies or something.
Bunny, something like
I
that,
remember
or
bunnies.
Executive Club, something like that. It's either gone or they've taken away the decals to make it a bit less obvious.
Yeah, that was there for years and years and years.
I was walking past the other day. I was like, oh, just it's always
I forgot that. Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, Studio 95, and also where on Cocker Road, down, where the car dealership used to be. That
where the co-op is now.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Upstairs in there was a illegal sex place.
Never.
Yeah, they did a raid to it, and they raided about 40 odd girls.
Yeah, it's one of those weird little sort of grey areas where it's like it's legal, but by definition, the other rules it's not.
But
really.
this wasn't.
Yeah.
This was like illegal. But yeah, it was like a full-on raid there in there as well. Was.
Yeah. So. We can't leave on his story like that, can we?
So we're doing.
We'll do a little bit more.
Yeah.
We're gonna skip the game this week, but by
Okay.
virtue of it's just gonna be virtually impossible. I mean, the amount of I can only really do quotes, and
Well,
the amount of quotes I could pull from, the chances of you getting them right, it would, and plus you've only got 5 people or 6 people to choose from, so I think we'll skip it for this week.
Maybe I could.
Have you got an alternative, or have you got a version?
I may have a version for you too.
Oh, go on then. Go on then, hit us with it.
Well, sort of.
I'll try.
Okay, so we're going to do something slightly different this week. It's going to pretty much stay exactly the same as the rest we're going to do, and that we have anyway. But I'm going to basically think, who was this character? So was it obviously which of the Pythons was this character?
Okay.
And who said this quote?
Alright.
So I'll be looking for like the character they played.
Alright.
And obviously if it's like guards, blah, guard 1 or guard 2, like, because they know we're doing pairs and shit like that. Okay, so first one is going to be who was it? Okay. So in the funniest joke in the world sketch, we're all familiar with it. Who played Ernest Scribble?
Michael Palin.
Fuck, I got it right.
But you could say Terry Jones because he plays him in now something completely different.
Michael Palin in Flying Circus.
Don't worry.
Right.
We'll go Flying Circus rules.
Touche.
Flying Circus rules. Go on, no.
Pen. Right, okay. Quick note of these as well. Okay, one for who?
Sweet.
Okay. In funniest joke in the world, who played the British officers in the bunker?
Graham Chapman.
Terry Jones.
And Eric Idle.
I'll give Ash 1 point for that, and who gets 2 points for that, because in Flying Circus it was Cleese and Idle. Okay. In I think we're all Holy Grail. Where's it gone? Lost it now. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So who played Sir Galahad?
Eric Idle.
No, it's Michael Palin.
Michael Palin, Ash guess it. In Holy Grail, who played Sir Not Appearing?
Nobody. It was just a kid.
Yeah.
There's a good little quick chat. I just really want something to say one of them. Okay.
What's the other one? There's Baby in it.
Yes, so who will not be shown in this movie?
And in Holy Grail, who played Sir Lancelot?
That's John Cleese.
Yes.
I know that because that's one of my favourite bits of that movie. You know when he's running towards them and they just keep repeating the bit when he's charging up. I love that. And that's how I knew the Michael Palin one as well, because it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he saves him from all the nunnery.
That's it, yeah.
And Holy Grail again. Who played the Black Knight?
John Cleese.
John Cleese, yeah.
He was slightly quicker then. In Life of Brian, who played the Emperor?
Pilot. Oh, that's
Palin.
Palin, yeah.
Which gets a point. Okay. And final for this round. It's for 2 points. in Holy Grail, who played the Mud People?
Eric Idle. And do you mean the two guards? I don't know who the mud people are.
I don't know.
When Arthur rides
Oh, I
into
know.
Drink
No. Eric Idle is one of them. I know. I thought you were on about the watery tart people, the peasants.
The Watery Tart People. That's not
Michael Palin.
Terry
And
Jones. Yeah.
There we are. One apiece. Ooh, Ash. Oh, actually, no, it's draw. It's draw for that round. Ooh. Okay, then.
When you said I thought you meant the two guards because of the swamp swamp castle.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, then. And then, for the second round, who was it? No? Was that right?
Who said it?
Who said
Who
it?
said what?
said it?
Who said what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go with
Who said
that.
what?
Okay. It'd be pretty much who said what. We'll go with we'll see where we can go now. Let me find where it is. Got down. Oh, who was it? That's what I was going to do. What did I do? Who was it?
We just done who was it?
Okay. I'll see how I can do the best of this. It may be some other thing mixed in. See if I can get one out. Okay. So when Arthur and either serving or one night are going through the town, how does the dead cart guy know that he's a king?
Because he's not covered in shit.
Yeah. He's not covered in shit. So it was. Okay. What sort of swallow could have carried a coconut?
Nunley. Oh,
Right.
what could have?
Yeah.
Easton.
Yeah. Correct.
Holy Grail is my jam, son.
Yeah.
Who may get a redemptive point then? How could a European swallow have carried it then?
What do you mean? African or European?
Chance to steal.
Yep.
By carrying it with another swallow, but with a piece of string.
Yeah. By two swallows carrying with a line of string.
I couldn't think of like the exact way
Yeah,
they worded it.
I know
Like,
what you mean. No. Okay, this could be an easy one. One of John Cleese's most famous roles in Python, one he was asked to many times after that. What was the department of government that he worked for?
Silly Walks.
What was it?
The Department of Silly Walks, is it? Oh,
Do you say department first of all?
I said the Department of Silly Walks.
Not quite.
Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yeah.
It's the ministry.
Ministry of Silly Walks.
Damn
Correct. Okay. And let's see. Final question then. On reaching Camelot, how does Arthur remark about the antics in Camelot?
Tis a silly
Silly
place.
I'll give you both a point for that one. But Ash has won this round. 10 points to 6.
Fair play.
Well done, Ash. Well done.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Absolute.
And now for
And
something
that's-
exactly the same.
Yeah. And that's that for this week's then, is it?
So I believe that's one for Hugh, one for Ash in the question rounds. So yeah, we'll keep scoring this and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Banging. Right, so that was Monty Python. What are we doing next week? That's for us to know and
You to find out.
yeah. And to do that, subscribe to Hillrat Productions on YouTube and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.